is Diego, ready for a live stream, surprise live stream chat. Now, I'm waiting for my K1 visa, or Karina and I are waiting for our K1 visa to get adjudicated for folks who are new to the channel. We're waiting for our welcome letter from the National Visa Center. We got our NOA1 letter April 18th, 2022. Dated, and our NOA2 letter is May 30th, 2023. We waited 115 days for our case number, and now we're just waiting for the welcome letter. And I keep sending inquiries. They're gonna be so sick and tired of me sending inquiries. They're just gonna ship the visa to Bogota, Colombia. Cecil Hema, hi Diego. Cecil, what's going on? Cecilia Hema. Estefania Flores. Hello, Diego. Hey, Estefania. Buenos dias. Nancy Fanilda. Hi, Diego. I just got approved from Indonesia. I knew you would. I knew you was going to get approved, Nancy. You get high five. Isaac Medrano. Trying to contact Brazil to get invoice ID to pay for interview. Yeah, email the embassy in Rio de Janeiro and ask them for the invoice number. Send an inquiry to the National Visa Center and tell them you can't pay for your visa till you get the invoice number. The NVC will probably send it to you. Send an inquiry to the NVC. Give them about 3 or 4 days to respond. Christopher Stout. Hi, they just yesterday updated my file for address change. I did it in February. Well, you changed your address in February? It took them all this time? Man, that's a long wait. Lucky you didn't have to get any mail, right? Tina, hi Diego and Karina. I'm watching from work. Hi Tina. Don't get in trouble now with work watching from work. All right. Don't get in trouble because of me. Kamani Young. Hey Diego, how soon can I get a driver's license? Maybe before the green card or work authorization. Kamani, you can get a driver's license when you get a social security number. As soon as you get a social security number, if you can get a social security number before your green card, that's great. But you'd have to go to the Social Security office with your K1 visa, your I-94, legal entry into the United States, and your passport, and see if you can get a social security number. So that's the only thing holding you back. Ashley Santana, Diego, I realized my fiance's passport is both in Spanish and English, so I decided not to get it translated. No, it's not necessary. Good decision, Ashley. Very good decision. It's not required. The Spanish group is expensive. Well, the whole K1 visa process is expensive. All right? The whole visa process. It's not cheap. Christopher, yes. Jin Ganesh. Hi, Diego, watching from Guyana. Hello to you and Karina. High five, Jin Ganesh in beautiful Guyana. Antonio Martinez. Does the I-134 have to be an original? Yes. At the embassy? Yes. Antonio. The rules say, the USCIS rules say, you got to have an original I-134 signed and dated, presented to the immigration officer at the consular office at the embassy, okay? The rules also say that a copy may be considered, but it's up to the immigration officer to consider a copy or not. You don't want to get an immigration officer that won't consider a copy. Just get the original to your beneficiary. That'll save any headaches, right? Let's see here. Estefania, does MVC send cases to embassies out of shipping days? The MVC sends visas to embassies depending on how busy the embassy is. How busy is the embassy? If the embassy's busy, they'll hold it at the MVC. Christopher Stout. So I'm thinking that they are getting close to update on approval applications. Yes. They're trying, immigration's doing that best they can. Cecil Hammer. Remember I asked you a question yesterday and you told me to come, let's talk today in the live. Our case is in transit to Abu Dhabi for about 6 days. How long do you think it will change to ready? Well, probably it's 2 to 3 weeks, okay? It takes 2 to 3 weeks to get a ready status from Abu Dhabi. But If they have a slow, once it gets to the embassy, if the embassy's not busy, they'll do it right away. Depends on how busy they are. Intrinsic, hey Diego, what next? Because my case shows ready. What next? Okay, well, if you have ready status, you need to go into use the SIAC account, go into travel docs, go into your beneficiary's country, and fill out the DS-160, pay the visa fee, schedule the interview, and schedule the medical exam. Ready status means the embassy is waiting for you to be proactive to schedule your visa interview. All right, that's what that means, okay? John K., good morning from San Francisco Bay Area. Diego, is an updated letter of intent to marry necessary the fiance's interview? Yes. Please, could you please do a pre-interview checklist video? I've made one of those, but I can make another one. A pre-interview checklist video. Okay. A pre-interview, excuse me, guys, checklist video. Cecil Hema. Then, Diego, in the transit message on SIAC status, it says MVC already provided my interview date. Please, what does that mean? Okay, so in your country, in your beneficiary's country, the MVC scheduled the interview date for you. So you're lucky. You don't have to try to figure it out. Now you got to know what the date is, so you can start getting the documents ready and the medical exam ready. Okay, get all the documents ready. That means that the MVC provided you an interview date. Which country is that? Fatima Imran filed on July 2022. Any rough idea how long the whole process will take? The whole process from NOA-1 letter to the visa and the passport is between 16 and 18 months. 19 months, probably the max right now, as of September 20th, 2023. Francois Livingston, good afternoon from New York. Well, hello, Francois. And good afternoon from New York City. You're in New York City, right? Ashley, Diego, our interview is on September 27th. Well, that's pretty close. Any insight on some questions? Well, the main Santo Domingo, yeah, I remember Santo Domingo. They're going to ask, how do you communicate with your sponsor? How does the sponsor communicate with the beneficiary? Does your beneficiary speak English? Okay. If you're in Santo Domingo, that's a Spanish-speaking country. So the immigration officer is going to ask, how do you guys communicate with each other? Do you speak Spanish and English bilingual? They'll ask, how did you meet? Well, okay, Ashley, you speak Spanish. So your beneficiary will say, well, I can speak Spanish to my sponsor, Ashley, because she speaks Spanish. Boom, that's easy. They could ask questions about, have you been married before? Do you have any kids? When was the last time you saw each other? Things like that. John K, high five, Mountain Dew. Thanks for that super chat, John K. And I'm getting low on Mountain Dew, so it's at the right time. Thank you for that. Thanks, John. Yes, Ashley, don't sweat the interview questions, okay? They're going to ask, the main thing they're going to ask is, how do you guys communicate? All right. When was the last time you met each other or saw each other? Did you have an engagement party? Things like that. There's about 100 questions they can pull from, and you're going to know the answer. It's not difficult. Let's see. Cecil Hammer, the country is UAE, U.S. Embassy, Abu Dhabi. Okay, so the United Arab Emirates. Okay, no problem. Patty Connolly, hello, Diego. My son's fiance is in the Philippines. How long before the interview can she get the medical done? 2 weeks before, meaning a couple of months or 2 weeks. 2 weeks, Patty. The U.S. Embassy in Manila, Philippines, want the medical exam for beneficiaries completed 2 weeks before the interview, okay, in Manila. Michelle, hey, Diego, should I bring a joint sponsor I-134 to the interview just in case to be prepared? Yes. If you just make over the minimum income, if you make it just $1,000 or $2,000 over the income level, I recommend you guys get a joint sponsor. Okay, I have seen lots of people at the green card level who make $2,000 above the minimum 125% being asked for a joint sponsor from immigration, but they make more than enough above the minimum income of 125%. So if you make $2,000 or less, that's when you should get a joint sponsor. Big Mitch, high five. Thank you, Big Mitch, for that super chat. Thanks for all of the help you provide. Go enjoy some Mountain Dew or some fresh milk. Now, Big Mitch, you know I drink milk, right? Guess what? I'm drinking milk today. But tonight I'm going to do a live stream and I'll be drinking Mountain Dew. But thank you, Big Mitch, for that thought, that kind super chat. Michelle, you got to get a joint sponsor, and that joint sponsor has to fill out an I-134. Plus, you need the tax return, pay stubs, and a letter from the employer from your joint sponsor. Okay, cover your backside, cover yourself, protect yourself at the embassy. Sissy Quote TV. How long is it taking to get an interview in Nairobi, Kenya? 2 to 3 months. But they are conducting visa interviews in Nairobi. So don't worry, you'll get your K1 visa. Just got to hang in there, okay? Intrinsic. Hello, Diego. Even if my case shows ready, but I haven't received a list of my required documents, I thought I would be sent a mail regarding what I should get for the interview. They'll send it to the sponsor. The sponsor will get an email from the embassy listing the documents required to bring to the visa interview. Okay, so you need your passport, your birth certificate, letter of intent to get married, translated into English. If you don't speak English, you got to get the police certificates. Okay, get all your documents ready. Ortum, when filing DS-160 for K2 visa, do you use the same case number as the parent? Yes. You didn't when you got your NOA-1 letter. Okay, when you filed the I-129F, you got an NOA-1 letter. The K2 child wasn't listed on there, was he or she? The child wasn't on the NOA-1 letter. And you're like, where's my child? Where's my kid? And you get panicky, right? It's okay. The child is a derivative. So the child rides off the K1. So you have to use the same case number, okay? Did that answer your question? Sissy Cote TV, we filed on July 21st and received our NOA-2 on July 15th, 2023, right? But we haven't gotten an email regarding our case number or welcome letter. Okay, July 15th, 2023, July, August. So you should see that by the middle of October, end of October, all right? You get the case number. Be patient, Sissy, a little bit more time. That's all. And Big Mitch, thank you for that super chat. Michelle, heard that a job change can affect them to ask for a joint sponsor, even though my fiance income is enough. No. If you get a job change, that's fine. As long as the income is way sufficient, you're good. And you have to prove the income. You got to prove it. Pay stubs, bank statements, a letter from your employer. Okay, this is how much money that Michelle makes, okay, in a year for 2023. This is how much she's going to make. This is the pay stubs. Here are the bank statements showing the direct deposits of the payments from my job. Let me see. Jin Ganesh, hi Diego, my case is in transit. It also says your interview date was provided to you by the National Visa Center. I'm on a K1 visa. That's interesting. Are you sure? And then does it tell you to fill out a DS-260 also? Or a DS-160? I think folks, are getting information from the NVC where they're talking about a spousal visa, not a K1 visa. Because if you're in a K1 visa, you have to schedule your own interview. Okay. Pat Connolly, thank you. But could she get it way earlier than 2 weeks? Is the real question. No, I don't reckon for the Philippines. No, immigration required 2 weeks prior to the visa interview. Okay, not before that. This is the Philippines. The Philippines, they have a different way of doing things. Okay. Yaha Conte, hi Diego. Ansu Sharma, hi Diego. Hey guys. Jeanette Jencesca Gabriel. Hello Diego. I'm the petitioner and I'm in Honduras with my fiance. Well, bueno. Es bueno. I work here and have 3 sources of income. I want to know if that could be a problem when it comes to the affidavit. Okay, if you are the petitioner and you live in Honduras, you have to have a domicile residency in the United States of America to qualify for the K-1 visa. You have to have taxes filed in the United States to qualify for the K-1 visa. So the money you're making in Honduras, you better be filing taxes on it in the United States. You better have a 1040 from 2022 and a W-2 or a 1099, okay? To qualify for the K-1 visa, you have to live and work in the United States of America. If you live and work in a foreign country, you don't qualify. You got to have domicile in the USA. You got to have a house or apartment, townhouse, somewhere, a residency in the United States. And you have to file taxes in the USA. And you got to prove it to the immigration officer at the K-1 visa interview. Okay? But I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just telling you what it is, what the rules are. Anshu Sharma, 2nd November 2022 is our NOA 1. Okay, so, and you say, so, okay, by November of this year, you should hear from immigration. Yaha Conte, what does it mean when your case is ready while you don't have your welcome letter? Well, if your case is ready and you don't have the welcome letter, get to work on scheduling the visa interview. Okay? Don't worry about the welcome letter for right now. Get to work. Send an inquiry to the MVC saying you haven't got your welcome letter. Send an email to the embassy saying, hey, I need my welcome my packet form. I need my welcome letter, and get to work on scheduling the interview. Okay? Antonio Clark, hey, how are you doing today? Doing great. Thank you. Antonio, how are you? Patty Connolly, okay, thank you again. No worries, Patty. Yeah, immigration at Manila. So your beneficiary will have the medical exam done at St. Luke's extension office. There's an extension there off the hospital. 2 weeks before, okay? John K., my job changed since I petitioned the I-129F. That's okay. So it's a different company. No problem. My income now is more than enough to sponsor my fiancée. Will my changing job affect her visa eligibility? No, it won't. When you fill out the I-134, okay, you're going to put on the I-134 what your yearly income is for 2023, for 2022, but in the remarks block on page 13, you're going to say, I have a new job and this is my new income, and this is my income for 2023. Now, if you don't have your visa interview until 2024, file your taxes in January of 2024. Get your taxes filed early, so you have your tax returns for 2023. And then when you fill out the I-134, okay, for your beneficiary in 2024, for her to take to the K-1 visa interview, she will have your 2023 tax return and your 2023 W-2. And you're going to fill out the I-134. So you'll be fine, okay? Because when you file your taxes in 2024, it's going to show your new income for 2023. When I apply for Karina's green card, well, she'll apply for it, but when I help her with the paperwork, I'm going to file my taxes in January. Then I'm going to apply for the green card. So it's going to show my income for 2023, not 2022. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? If you feel that your income is not going to cover you, get a joint sponsor. Okay, Christopher's talking to Anshu. Antonio, continuing. I sent an inquiry a week ago, and they responded saying we forwarded your immigrant visa petition to the U.S. Embassy or Consulate on the 29th of August. Is there anything further I need to do? Yeah, what you need to do is email the embassy and ask them the status of your case. Identify the beneficiary, passport number, date of birth, name, case number, whatever you got. Identify everything that you got. Email the embassy and say, hey, I'm just checking in. Are you ready for me? Are you ready for me yet? Jenseska, I have U.S. residency and also pay my taxes, but my income is foreign. That's good. Immigration don't care if your income is foreign, as long as you have permission to legally work in that country. You're good. As long as it meets or exceeds, as long as your income exceeds the income requirements for immigration, you paid your taxes in the United States, and you have a residency in the United States, you're good. Autumn, how busy is the Hong Kong embassy? Honestly, Autumn, I don't know. I don't know. Now, the Hong Kong embassy, you're going to have to get police certificates. If your beneficiary lives in Hong Kong, you're going to need a police certificate from Hong Kong, and that's a hard one to get. It takes a long time to get it. So you go into the police department, you get your fingerprints taken, picture taken, apply for the police certificate, and you have to send the Hong Kong Police Department will send the police certificate to the U.S. Embassy in Hong Kong. They won't give it to you, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary. They mail it to the embassy, okay? So let's start looking into that. Okay, I don't know how long it's going to take to get a visa interview, though. I'm sorry. Jenseska, having foreign income, even though I pay taxes in the U.S. affects the process, or I need a sponsor. Does your income exceed 125%? Do you make $2,000 a year over and above 125% of the minimum income requirements? If you do, and you can prove it with the tax return, you're good. But immigration are going to ask you, are you going to be working? Are you going to get married in the United States and then return back to Guatemala and work there? Do you work for a U.S. company? They're going to want you to be working in the USA, not in Guatemala. Well, so be ready for that question. Okay, you understand? Immigration want to see you working in the USA, not in Guatemala. They want to see you living and residing in the USA. Are you working for a U.S. company? John K., thanks for you do, my friend. Hey, no worries, John K. I'm here for you guys, okay? I'm going to help you guys. And get Jenseska, get a sponsor, okay, if your income is $2,000 or less above 125% of the minimum income. You got to be in America working, okay? This old helmet. Now, that's an interesting name. This old helmet. Strap on spelled backwards is what? No parts. I don't understand that, but you are out of here. Hasta luego. Let's see. Jenseska, many thanks, Diego. No problem. Christopher, make sure the national security file is cleared before your interview. For it's like if someone used similar your name. Have proof that it is not you with a bad file. That's a good idea. Ruhi's life. Hello. Hola, Diego. Hola. Does the form I-134 have to be mailed to me, or can it be scanned? Has to be mailed to you. U.S. immigration, the rules are for the I-134 say you got to have the original signed document. But the immigration officer might consider a copy. But it's up to the immigration officer. Might consider means it's a possibility they won't accept it. So make sure you have the original signed copy for the visa interview. When I fly to Colombia, okay, I'm going to fill out the I-134 in the kitchen in my apartment in Bogota, Colombia. I'm going to sign it and date it and give it to Karina. She'll take the original to the embassy interview. Abiot, hello, sir. MVC send our case to Lagos and it's ready. What now? Because I want to file for my fiance and our daughter. Okay, well, if you have ready status in Lagos, Nigeria, you got to go and fill out the DS-160 for your beneficiary and for your stepdaughter to be. You got to pay the visa fee and see if you can get an interview scheduled. All right? Let's see if you can get an interview scheduled. Fresh Skater 24. Hello, Diego. What's going on, Fresh Skater 24? Jenseska. Yes, I work for a U.S. company remote. Okay. Well, you're going to have to be working for that company in the United States of America in order to qualify for the visa. Okay? So right now you're spending time with your beneficiary because you don't want to be separated, which I can understand. But when you get the K1 visa, you got to leave Guatemala. Okay? Got to leave. Got to go to work in America. Go to your house in the United States. Fresh Skater 24, my fiance has her interview next month. Congratulations. Ordem, do you need the invoice number? Depends. It depends on the embassy. Fresh Skater 24, the embassy sent me an email about what to bring and how my fiance should have the documents in order. There you go. They also said the DS-160 is valid for 1 year. Is that true? That's true. That DS-160 is valid for a year. That's correct. And if you start to fill it out, okay, while waiting for you to schedule your visa interview, it's only good for 30 days. So if you fill out the DS-160 and you haven't scheduled a visa interview yet, the DS-160 is only good for 30 days. But once you schedule the visa interview, then you submit the DS-160, then you print the confirmation page, it's good for a year. Angel Mercia, hola Diego, hola Angel, ¿cómo estás? Tu día bien. Guys, come on, throw me some questions. I've been talking for what, 26 minutes. We've covered a lot of ground so far. Fresh Skater 24, gotcha. There you go. You understand, right? That's how it works. And you got to get the original I-134, okay? Also, scan copies, immigration, don't like that. Thomas Moya, okay, I got approved from USCIS today. High five, Thomas. Can I prepare the tax documents in DS-160 immediately? No, you got to wait for the ready status, Thomas, from the embassy. You got to wait for the embassy. If you fill out the DS-160, you can save it on your computer, but it's only good for 30 days. Then it terminates. Then you have to redo it. Just wait for the ready status from the embassy, then fill out the DS-160 and submit it. Okay, then pay the visa fee, then schedule the interview and get the medical exam scheduled. Sissy Cote TV, how are people getting their case number before the welcome letter? I don't know. Immigration is not the most administratively challenged is what I can say about immigration. You know, that's not easy. They're not the most administratively professional people on the, you know, I'm frustrated with them. Thomas Moya, the embassy or the visa center. You get the ready status from the embassy, not the visa center. The MVC sends you a case number. The case number, hopefully they send you an invoice number too, so you can track the case. But not more than likely you'll get the invoice number when your case gets to the embassy. Then you can process the SEAC, go into the SEAC US travel docs, and then you punch in the case number, then you put in the invoice number, then you process the visa. Angel Tate, hi Diego, should I make copies of my past 3 years tax returns? Yes. Or should I request tax transcripts? Yes. Does it make a difference? Yes. 3 years worth of tax returns, 1040s, 3 years worth of tax transcripts, 3 years worth of W-2s, 3 years worth of 1099s, 3 years worth. Bring them all to the embassy interview. The immigration officer is going to ask you for your last tax return 99% of the time. I want to see your last tax return. Or the immigration officer may say, I want to see your last tax transcript. It's up to the immigration officer, right? So have both, so that way you're covered. If the immigration officer asks for the tax transcript, there we go. If they ask for the tax return, here you go. immigration, the consular officers have got their own little dog and pony show that they run, and you got to cover every base. I believe in Bogota, they're going to just ask Karina for my last tax return, not the transcript. But she's going to have the transcripts just in case. Boy, she's not my stepdaughter, my daughter. Okay, well, if she's your daughter, then she's my daughter, and I read it on their website. We have to wait for appointment letter to mail to her before booking an appointment. You read it where? If she's your daughter, you don't need a visa appointment. You just need a passport. If your daughter is a U.S. citizen, American citizen, you register the birth at the American embassy in the foreign country and get the little baby a passport. You don't need a K2 visa. You don't need any appointment. You don't need a medical exam. You don't need anything. Rules life, letter of just need a passport. Rules life, letter of intent to marry. Can I send my petitioner a scanned copy? Absolutely. But I would prefer you send the original. A scanned copy is okay. Immigration officer may accept that, but I would send the original signed letter. Okay, you sent the original letter of intent to get married letter to the K1 visa office, right, in Dallas. Send the original letter of intent to get married. I don't recommend sending a copy. Cover yourself. Furious Ram, hi Diego. I went to Visa Journey and spoke with someone whose fiance had their interview in Casablanca, Morocco. She said the invoice number is not that important with the K1 visa. Well, it is important if you can't get processed. So, depends on the embassy. But you're right. The invoice number isn't that important for a K1 visa. Most of the time, it's not. Just wait for the ready status. Instead of trying to check the status in the SIAC, wait for ready status and then stop processing the visa. Thomas Moya, sounds great. I'll start the clock for September 20th. Luckily, the embassy is Dominican Republic. They're processing visas. Wait time is only a few weeks for interviews. Yeah, it's quick. Dominican Republic are on top of things. Let's see. Angel Tate, I'm hearing that we need the MVC address for the police report. Is that true? No. We're still waiting on NOA 2, but my fiance is going to do a police report next week. Just get the police report. The only time you need to give an address of immigration for a police report is for Hong Kong. If you live in Hong Kong, or if you've lived and worked in Hong Kong and you need a police certificate, you got to give the Hong Kong police proof that you're in a K1 visa or a spousal visa. Got to prove it. Welcome letter, NOA 2 letter, things like that, okay? And then the Hong Kong Police Department will mail the police certificate to the embassy. That's the only country that requires it. Other than that, you don't. Diego, the embassy in Cameroon only asked to bring the last tax return in the W-2. There you go. On the instructions, scheduled December 5th. Every embassy is different. Every ambassador, every immigration officer run their own show. John K., I have no problem providing 3 years worth of tax transcripts. However, in 2021, I was unemployed. That's okay. But I bounced back in 2022. That's okay. You're good. Don't worry. It's not going to hurt you. They're not even going to ask you for your 2021 tax return, more than likely. But they will ask you for 2022. Okay? Now, when you adjust status to green card, you don't have to show your 2021 tax return, but you do have to write down how much you made for the year in 2021. So if you adjust status for green card in 2023, okay, let's suppose you apply for your green card in December 2023. When you fill out the I-865 on that, or on the I-864 affidavit of support, you have to put on there how much money you made for 2022, 2021, 2020. Plus, you have to provide the tax return for 2022. Let me see here. I don't want to miss anybody. Maj Diasis. Hello, hola, Diego. Hola, ¿cómo estás? We just got our case number today. Good. Can I already fill out the DS-160 and pay for the visa? Salamat po. ¿Cómo está? I would say no. You got to wait for the ready status, Maj Diasis. You got to wait for the ready status from the embassy, okay? Got to wait for the ready status. Okay, relax, hang in there. I'll tell you this in Tagalog. Me hirap buhay. Okay, be strong though. Okay, you can do this. Wait for the ready status, then fill out the DS-160. You got to wait for the embassy to be ready for you. Okay. Elad Esaga. Hello, Diego. Do we need an employment letter for the interview? Get one. Yes. The embassy officer may ask you for it or may not ask you for it. So have it in your hand just in case they ask you for it. All right. Mecca Joy Sabado. Got a K1 visa case approved in just 4 months and 2 weeks. Got your K1 visa case approved in 4 months and 2 weeks. Okay. Denise Jefferson, Diego, my package anticipating NOA2 will cost me in excess of $300 via DHL. Includes I-134. You got to have the original I-134 and letter of intent to get married. You got to have that original and signed. Is it a requirement that the letter be signed 2 weeks prior to an appointment, or is that a suggestion? I would say figure out how long is it going to take for your package to get to to your beneficiary in Nigeria, right? Wait, see how long it takes. What's the average? Send it about a month before. That's what I would do. I would send it 4 weeks to 6 weeks before. So that way, if it gets lost, you got time to send another one. I would say 6 weeks before, and you'll be okay. But in all reality, 2 weeks would be 1 week before. 2 weeks before would be probably better. But logistically, in your case, it's probably hard to do that. Rui's Life to accompany form I. There's no such form as an I-135. That form doesn't exist. It's I-134. Okay. Is tax return for the previous 1 year enough, or how many years back should I go? Go back 3 years. More than likely, the immigration officer is only going to ask for the last tax return for 2022 if your interview is this year. Okay, so go back 3 years, bring back 3 years worth of tax returns, 3 years worth of tax transcripts, W-2s, 1099s. Okay, give them to your beneficiary, and then wait and see for what the immigration officer asks for. Let's see. Abdul Jallo, hello Diego, greetings to you, watching from the United Arab Emirates. We salute our friends in the United Arab Emirates. Abdul, we hope you're doing well. Lineca, hello Diego. Hi, what's going on, Lineca Lopez? How are you? Write to MVC because they still haven't sent my welcome letter, and they responded to me with this. I have been waiting for almost 5 months for a response from the MVC. The invoice number for visa petition is BGT. So BGT, so you're in Bogota, Colombia. BGT is for Bogota. The beneficiary ID is this. You will be notified once the case is forwarded to this embassy. Well, let's see. So basically, it seems like the embassy in Bogota, Colombia is getting a little busy. Okay. So you got the invoice number for Bogota, right? Lineca Lopez, are you in Bogota, in Colombia? Elad Esaga, Diego, my fiance was in Dubai for a few years, but he moved to Cameroon, but he is having his interview in Dubai. Okay. Does he need 2 police certificates? Yes. You got to have a police certificate clearance from every country you've lived in or worked in for 6 months or more. Karina was born and raised in Venezuela, so we get a police certificate from Venezuela. She's been living and working in Colombia as a legal resident for 5 years. We get a police certificate from Colombia. So she'll go into the visa interview with 2 police certificates, and I'll translate them into English. Madge Dassis, my beloved fiance, is in the Philippines. Fantastic. Any idea how long does it normally take for a case to be ready? It's pretty quick. The Manila is doing a good job. Manila are processing K1 visas. The U.S. Embassy, we give a high five to the immigration officers in Manila. They're doing a good job. They're getting it done pretty quick. Okay? Manila's fast. Autumn, it's been 1 week since we got our case number, but we still haven't received our welcome letter. Give them time, Autumn. Be patient. Give them time, okay? Be patient. This whole process is not quick. And Lineca Lopez, you're telling you, I want to go back to you. You said your invoice ID number for visa petition is BGT, this one, and the beneficiary ID number is this. You will be notified once the case is forwarded to the embassy. Well, that sounds like Bogota, Colombia to me. Tell me if I'm right. So you just got to wait for the embassy, okay? Madge Diaz's, high five. Thank you for that super chat from Madge. Thank you so much. You put a little number 1 in there. You're number 1. You guys are number 1. You're going to get your K1 visas. Everybody watching, you guys are going to get your K1 visas, okay? You just got to work through the process. Just got to work through the process. You've got this, okay? Now, I'm going to make some videos. I'm going to make a video here, a pre-interview checklist. I'll make some other videos. I'm going to make a pop quiz interview for K1 visas. And, I'm just going to keep making videos for you guys. Denise Jefferson, so Diego, I was going to send my package now as I have trust issues with the delivery process in Nigeria. Okay. However, do you think I'm wasting my time to send my package before receipt of NOA2? It is more cost effective to wait. Now, here's the thing, Denise. If you send your package now with the I-134, what if the I-134 changes by the time you get your NOA2 letter? Here's what I would do. Wait till you get your NOA2 letter and then come on the live stream and I'll give everybody an update on the I-134. My concern is the I-134 could change. You could mail your package off now, okay? And then the I-134 changes in 2 weeks or in 6 weeks or at the end of the year. I don't know what's going to happen with the I-134. My recommendation is hold off until the NOA2 letter, okay? Then send, here's what I would do. I would send a DHL courier, send a letter and send it to Nigeria using DHL. Send one and see if your beneficiary gets it. If he gets it, right, everything's good, then send all the paperwork in a second DHL. Send one as a test. I know it's going to cost you money, but send one as a test with nothing, just a letter in it, or some pictures or whatever. And then send a second. Once he gets it, calculate how long it took for him to get it from the DHL service, courier service. And then if everything goes smoothly, then send him the original with all the paperwork, the I-134, the letter of intent to get married, etc. But I would do a test run. I would say it's more cost effective to wait. Yes, Denise. Wait for the NOA2 letter. But, if you don't trust the process, do a test run and then see what happens. Aboit MVC. Oh, yes. Linerca Lopez. Yes. So you're in Colombia. Which part of Colombia? Aboit. MVC sent the case to Lagos and it is ready. Okay. But read on Embassy in Lagos website that we have to wait until they send the appointment letter to be mailed to her before to schedule the interview. Yeah, the embassy in Lagos, Nigeria seems to be a bit busy. Denise, makes perfect sense to wait. Yeah, Denise, here's what I would do. Tomorrow, here's what I would do. Tomorrow or this week, send a DHL letter to your beneficiary in Nigeria. Put in, whatever, something that's not important. Send it. See how long it takes to get there and if he receives it. If he gets it, you'll know how long it takes to get there, right? You'll know if he received it. And then wait until your NOA2 letter and send him all the documents that he needs for the event, for the interview, for the visa interview. Just a suggestion. Test the courier service. Go to the DHL office and ask them, hey, do you have problems shipping stuff to Nigeria? Ask them. Go to the office and ask them what's the loss rate for packages to Nigeria. They don't have statistics. Now it's 6:30 in London, England right now in the afternoon. It's 6:30 in Nigeria. Muscat, Oman, it's 9:27 in the evening. Alexandria, Egypt, it's 8:27 at night. Athens, Greece, it's 8:27 at night. And Phnom Penh, it's 12:30 in the morning. So I did the live stream to help guys who live in these countries also. Let's see. I bought NBC. Okay, yeah, the embassy in Nigeria seems to be backlogged a little bit. Not too much. They're processing visas. Okay, they're processing K1 visas. Now this is a long name right here. May Blaire Entertainment. Hi Diego. My fiance's interview is in October. Okay, next month. But he couldn't get what? You didn't complete the sentence. You're can't get his birth certificate. Okay? Now your fiance, is this the beneficiary or the sponsor of fiance? Is it the sponsor who can't get the birth certificate or the beneficiary? Gotta have the birth certificate. Gotta have it. If it's the beneficiary, it's mandatory. The beneficiary, the person coming to the United States of America on a K1 visa, must produce an original birth certificate to the immigration officer at the visa interview, plus a copy. Okay? So if you got to make a copy of the original. Karina has her original birth certificate from Venezuela. We made a copy of it. Here's a copy, here's the original, and then I got it translated into English. James Van Scota, I have completed all the paperwork to send to my fiance in Vietnam. Okay. But they say that there are no scheduled appointments for interviews. I sent a request to NVC to help with the interview. Okay, if your K1 visa is at the embassy in Vietnam, the NVC is not going to help you. They're done. USCIS is done with you. The NVC is done with you. If your visa is in the embassy in Vietnam, you have to communicate only with the embassy in Vietnam. Rules life. If the beneficiary takes Form I-134 and accompanying documents to her interview, then it means there's no need for the petitioner to include them while sending the K1 visa packet to USCIS. You are correct. You're right. You are absolutely correct. But I included mine in my K1 visa package so immigration can see how much money I make at USCIS to make the visa package stronger. I want the visa package to be as strong as possible to ensure approval. But you don't have to send it in the K1 visa package. Elysion Anozil, hey Diego, how do I create SEAC? Well, you should have a case number or an invoice number, probably a case number. Go into SEAC.com. It's a website. You should have that information on the letter from the NVC on how to do that. They explain it to you. Maybury Entertainment. He is from Eritrea, but a political asylum refugee in France. It is hard to get the birth certificate. Well, go to the embassy of Eritrea in France and see if he can get it through the embassy in Eritrea. Is there a U.S. embassy? Is there an embassy for the country of Eritrea in Paris? There's got to be, right? An embassy or a consulate. He needs to go to the Eritrea embassy in Paris and ask them to help him get the birth certificate. James Van Scola, you can't schedule a medical without the letter of interview. That's correct. You're absolutely right, James, on that case. Cecil Hammer, hi Diego, still from Abu Dhabi. Since as our case is still in transit, and the NVC scheduled our interview already. Will they try to send us the welcome letter and our case ready for preparation? Now, I don't understand why. Read that letter from the NVC carefully. Does it say also DS260 or does it say DS160? Where they say they scheduled the interview for you? Why would the NVC schedule the visa interview for you in Abu Dhabi? I don't know. I don't know why they would do that. It's up to the petitioner or the beneficiary to do that. Guilt Dog 01, can you get 2 RFEs? Possibly, it's a possibility, but very rare. It's a very rare thing to get 2 RFEs. Usually, you just get 1. But that's only if you don't pay attention to processing the visa package properly for the K1 when you send it to Dallas. Make sure you don't mess up the paperwork. Savvy Me, for the beneficiary, birth certificate, does it need to be translated if it's in Spanish? U.S. Embassy, Bogota, Colombia. Get it translated. Yes. Karina will have her visa interview at the embassy in Bogota, Colombia. You need her birth certificates, all her documents are all translated into English. Everything. Now, the immigration officer speaks Spanish. You don't need a translator. The immigration officers speak fluent Spanish and English at the embassy in Bogota, Colombia, so they can probably read the document in Spanish. Okay? But they prefer that the documents are translated into English. Ellison, they never said anything about it in my approval notice, and every time I email them, they give me the invoice ID and case number, but no instructions on how to create it. It's at the embassy now. Okay, go Google SEAC.com. Go in, put in your case number, put in your invoice number, look for travel docs, look for your country, and start processing your visa. They've told you how to do it. You got to go into SEAC. JD, hi Diego, how are you? SEAC case tracker shows application ready today, then approved in the evening and says final processing by consular section. So how many days they issue the final visa? Have you had the face-to-face visa interview? You've done the face-to-face visa interview, right? It's usually up 4 to 5 to 6 days, 4, 5, or 6 days to get the visa in the passport. Mabry Entertainment, he can't since he is a political asylum in France. The embassy can't give him, so the French government give us humanitarian birth certificate. I don't know if the U.S. embassy will accept it. Oh, I'm pretty sure that the U.S. embassy will accept a humanitarian birth certificate. I would have your beneficiary write a letter explaining why you have a humanitarian birth certificate, okay? That you have been politically exiled from Eritrea. You cannot return there. You cannot go to the embassy to get your birth certificate. So the French government have given you one for a humanitarian reason. Write a letter of explanation, and immigration will accept it. John K, on my fiance's packet 3, it's requesting for a divorce decree or an annulment of some sort. She's never been married. Is that the only pertaining to her? John K, have you been divorced before? If you've been divorced, you got to show your divorce decree, final divorce decree, certified original, certified copy, stamped, signed by the clerk of the court. If you're let me see here. If your beneficiary has never been married, then you can't. There's no reason for a divorce decree. Let's see. Cecil Hammer. Yes, Diego, the info says your case is in transit to the consular section. Your interview date was provided to you by the National Visa Center. Okay. That's interesting. Very interesting. And Guild Dog 01. Yes, you can get 2 RFEs. It's very rare to get 2 RFEs, but it happens sometimes. Very rare. Furious Ram. Hi, Diego. I emailed the Casablanca embassy and they sent me this. Let me see here. Once the NVC determines the file is complete with all the required documents to schedule applicant's interview appointment, NVC then sends the file containing the applicant's petition and the documents listed above to the embassy, where the applicant will be interviewed. Okay, that's interesting. Like I said, every embassy's got their own way of doing business, guys. Every ambassador. John K. Yes, I've previously been married. The divorce decree is included in the I-129F. Do I need to provide that again for her visa interview? Absolutely you do, John K. You must get a certified copy of your divorce decree, stamped by the whoever, signed by the clerk of the court, dated, every page, and get it to your beneficiary to bring to the visa interview. That is mandatory. Furious Ram. So I won't be able to pick the interview day. Okay. Membere. Okay, thanks for your help. Yeah, don't worry about that birth certificate. If the French government issued a humanitarian birth certificate, okay, write a letter explaining why that happened, and immigration will accept that because it comes from the government of France. You just can't go print one up on your computer at your house, okay, in France. The government has to issue it. The French government issued a birth certificate, you'll be perfectly fine. But I would back it up with a letter of explanation in English, okay? Now, you can write it in French if you want, or Eritrean, but make sure that it's translated. Thomas Farrell. Hey, Diego, just popped in. Have you got your welcome letter? No, not yet. I sent my third inquiry, and they responded back saying, there's no more COVID in Bogota, after I corrected them and told them, obviously, there's no COVID in closing the embassy down. I put my foot in their rear end, and they sent me a third email saying that we will notify you when your visa package has been shipped to the embassy. So I'm just waiting on them. Newfow. I'm also waiting for my interview in Casablanca. Okay. Savvy me. I did another inquiry the other day, and they got back to me today saying that we will let you know when we forward your case. Yeah, same for me. That's my third inquiry this month. Bogota, Colombia. U.S. Embassy is irritating. So here's the thing with the embassy in Bogota. Okay, Karina, my friend, my prometida, my beautiful Karina, she called the embassy. Okay. Mi prometida llama Embajada Estados Unidos en Bogotá, okay? Llama. Pregunta, por favor, tú cerrado para COVID. The embassy said, no, we're not closed because of COVID. They're open. They're processing visas. And then the U.S. Embassy in Bogotá sent me an email telling me, Diego, we will process your visa as soon as the MVC send it to us, okay? So I'm not getting this COVID story anymore from the MVC. They've changed their story. Now there's no story about COVID after I outed them for their big lie. They're just being lazy. So the embassy in Bogota is busy right now. So hang in there, okay? Relax. You'll get it. You'll get it. Savvy me. You'll get it. We'll let you know when we forward your case, okay? Here's the email from the, here's the email to me, okay? This is the email to me from the National Visa Center regarding Karina's K1 visa process. To whom it concerns, you will be notified once this case is forwarded to the assigned U.S. Embassy or Consulate General. Signed by a gentleman named Jesus, Inquiry Management, Department of State, a contractor in Lockwood Hills. So the embassy in Bogota is busy. So like you, we're waiting just like you, but you got to be patient. You'll get it. Let me see. Savvy me. I'm going to help you, okay? We're going to get you through this. John K., thank you again, Diego. I owe milk and Mountain Dew. John K., I got a little bit of milk left. I'm going to drink it because I'm thirsty. And I don't know what cow this came from, but it tastes good. Now, milk in Colombia is good too. You know, I go shopping with Karina to the Jumbo Supermercado, and you know, we buy milk, and it's not, I don't know, it's in like a plastic container, and you peel the top off, and then it sits. You don't even need to put it in the fridge. It's pretty good. But then again, it's always cold in Bogota, so we really don't need a fridge. It's so cold. Madge Diaz. Hold on a second. Thomas Farrell. My fiance is in Manila now. Ahora. Medical appointment tomorrow. Super excited. and interviews October 11th. Okay, onse, October the onse. This process, hell, is almost coming to an end. Thomas, it's not hell. It's a process. You got it. You got through it, right? You're almost there. Relax. Madge Diasis, my beloved fiance is widowed. He will only need to provide his ex-wife's death certificate, right? Must produce it. I heard something about advisory on marriage asked by some U.S. consulates in the Philippines. Advisory on marriage? No. All you need is the ex-wife's death certificate. If your fiance is widowed, gotta have the death certificate. Okay, the original, if possible, and a copy of the original, or at a minimum a copy. And if you get a copy, see if you can get it notarized somewhere, just to give some strength to it. Saselahem is talking to Furious Ram. Moroccan Life. Hey, Moroccan Life. That's a nice name. Diego, what time between case ready to interview? Well, in Morocco, probably about 6 weeks. Furious Rams talking to Cecilia. Thomas Farrell's talking to Cecilia. Newfound. Hi, Diego. Could you inform me how long does it take for the U.S. consulate in Casablanca to schedule an interview for me? Well, I think you have to schedule the interview, guys. Beneficiary or sponsor schedules the interviews for the interview at the embassy or the consulate. And it all depends on how busy is the embassy. You know, if the embassy is busy, like Colombia right now, Bogota, Colombia is like knee deep in K1 visas, so they're busy. So I probably won't be able to get a welcome letter. I'm probably going to be stuck here in Florida for a little bit longer, and Karina has to wait, for me to get to Colombia, and it's bad for her because we haven't seen each other in quite a long time. We lived together for a year and a half. 2021 and 2022, we were inseparable. 2023, I haven't been to see her. Okay, so it's getting a little frustrating for us, but you guys, it's a process. Kenneth Valles, hi Diego, I'm in the military and have a question. Thank you for your service. Once we get married, should we go to the Social Security to process my spouse's SSN and then schedule an appointment on Deers for her CAT card? I live on base. Here's what you need to do. When you get married, first thing you got to do is go to TRICARE on base and get her on your health insurance. You don't need a Social Security number to put her on your health insurance. Okay? You get your marriage certificate, you got your marriage license, you got her passport, her K1 visa. See if you can get the I-94. Bring all that to TRICARE. Get her on your health insurance, and then apply for the Social Security number. When you get the Social Security number, then go back to the TRICARE office and give it to the TRICARE officer in the military on base. Health insurance first, Social Security number second. Okay? You'll be okay. But remember this, you got to get that Social Security number back to TRICARE, because if you don't, they're going to send you a letter every year asking for it. All right, Kenneth, thank you for your military service also. Okay, thank you. I hope that answered your question. I've been through that before. Trust me. Lala Kasimova. Hello, my fiance is retired veteran. Salute. His payment is $3,500 a month. Are we good, or do we need an extra sponsor? Well, $3,500 a month is his retirement income, right? Is that correct? So you take your calculator, you take 3,500 times 12, and he makes $42,000 a year. If he is sponsoring one person, he is good. If he is sponsoring one beneficiary, which is you guys are good. New foul. Thank you, Diego. No problem. Mabalare Entertainment is one day makes a difference for police record. I think you're trying to tell me it will expire. The police certificate is good for 2 years from the issue date. Entertainment, so don't worry about that. Aren't you glad you're on this channel, guys? I'm helping you get through all this process so easily. Okay, you guys stick around. We're gonna get you through this. Shiku Dumbaya. How long does it take Germany to process a visa? Well, the U.S. Embassy is in Frankfurt, and it takes about 2 weeks. 2 weeks to get there. And then from the ready status, is that what you're talking about? From ready status, it's about 2 weeks to 3 weeks. Rules life. If the interviewing embassy doesn't ask the beneficiary to bring a certificate of no marriage, she doesn't have to get one. That's right. You're correct. Kenneth Valles. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Kenneth. Get married. Go to TRICARE on base. Get her on your health insurance. Put her name on there. Okay. And then go into the TRICARE website where you can print proof of her name being on your health insurance, and include that in your adjustment of status paperwork. Proving that your beneficiary has health insurance is a cornerstone partly to a successful green card application. So get her on your TRICARE, print the paperwork, ask the TRICARE officer, please print the paperwork with her name on it, showing that she is now on my health insurance, military. Put that in your adjustment of status paperwork, okay? More advice for you. Shiku, my NOA 1, June 10th, my NOA 2, September 15th. Still waiting for welcome letter. Yeah, you're still early, Shiku. A little bit longer to wait. It's like 90 days. James Van Scota, when you put in for an adjustment of status, can we get a social security number with a marriage license, or do we need to wait for a green card? Okay, you can get your social security number 2 ways. You can request that immigration contact the Social Security Administration during the green card process. So here's what I'm going to do for Karina. We're just going to adjust her status to green card, and I'm going to check the box that says, yes, please notify the Social Security Administration. We want you to process her Social Security number. We'll let them do it. The second way you can do it is go to the Social Security office, make an appointment, bring your I-94 paperwork, which is your legal entry into the United States that you had a face-to-face visa interview with an immigration officer at the border. Bring the passport with the K-1 visa in it, okay? Obviously, and the birth certificate translated into English, and basically that's what you need. Go to the Social Security officer and see if they'll issue her a Social Security number. And bring the marriage license too. Let's see. Maybre Entertainment. You don't know how healthy you are and taking a lot of our worries from our shoulder. Yeah, I'm going to take those stresses off your shoulders, guys. I'm going to get you through this. Okay, I've been talking for an hour and 7 minutes. I'm going to do another live stream tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. So I'll be back tonight, guys, so we can continue. All right. And this was just a surprise live stream to help you guys. I had lots and lots of questions, and it's much easier for me to answer the questions right here in person. So we'll see you tonight at 7 p.m., guys.